Hey everybody, welcome to Cowboy Leather and Shoe Repair. Today is Friday, December 17th. We're on the downhill slide to Christmas. Things are caught up here in the shop. Got all the shipping done, and most of everything that I've shipped out has reached its destination. But that's not what I want to talk about. I've looked back through some of my videos, and I haven't made a how Cowboy Leather and Shoe Repair came about, what led up to it. So I think I'll let everybody know how I started out. I'm not going to go back real far, but before I started the business, I've got experience with heavy equipment, over the road truck driver, dump truck driver, heavy equipment operator. I managed a horse farm for a couple of years. I've done security work. And people say, well, what can you do? It's easier for me to tell them what I can't do than what I can do. So let's see, I was working second shift, 3 to 11, back early 90s, or excuse me, early 2000s. And around about 2010, 2011, I figured I went to a craft fair or something like that, and I saw some pretty cool belts and some other leather goods, and I try that. So I located my first, or the closest Tandy leather to where I live, found it, went there, wandered around. The manager of the place was very helpful, and he set me up with some of your basic tools. So I got me back some leather, and I come home and I was cutting it up, and I made my wife a purse, and she started using it. People started seeing it, and they'd go, "We'd like one." So I make a purse here, make a purse there, and in between that, I made a few gun holsters. People saw them, they liked them. Well, things started to progress, and I was doing all my everything was hand stitched, hand cut. So for a couple of years, I did that off and on. Basically, it started out as a hobby. Well, I think it was 2012, 2013. Somebody said, "Well, hey, why don't you go ahead and set up a eBay account?" I don't know, not good enough. So I said, "Well, okay." Well, I put a couple holsters on there. Uh, Looking back, I still got the pictures of them holsters, and they were nice looking, sturdy, but kind of on the crude side. But they sold. So I started making other things, like I think I mentioned in some of my other videos. If you can imagine it, draw it, you can make it. And I was putting stuff like that on, and it was selling. Figured, okay, this is good. So as I would sell, after a while, I'd buy more leather, buy some more tools. I kept upgrading everything. I mean, I started out with a ruler, a cheap old compass, and some box cutter, and I thought I was in hillbilly heaven. Well, like I say, things started progressing, and I went after a while. I mean, I started out just working on an old stump with a piece of plywood nailed on top of it. That was my workbench, my cutting table. Served a lot of purposes. And like I said, I hand stitched a lot of stuff. I think I bought one of those hand cranky Chinese shoe patchers, and that worked out pretty good for a while. But things were progressing. I made some more money, set some aside, and I went a few miles from me. A man had a saddle shop. Well, he had one of those Landis straight needle stitch machines for harness, and he wanted to part with it, so I bought that. I think I paid $400 or $500 for it. I moved it home, put it in a workshop because I'd gotten one of those buy here, rent to own type buildings, and that I thought I was in hillbilly heaven. I got a shop. I started setting it up, had the stitch machine, and things over the years just steadily got better, better, and better. Well, I was working a regular job, so I would do leather work from, we'll say, 8 in the morning till 1:30, 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and then go to my regular job. Well, in between, I got a chance to buy some shoe repair equipment. So I purchased that, and I started doing a little shoe repair also. Well, between the leather work and the shoe repair, customers were coming. I was making a little bit more money. So this guy called me up one day and said, "Hey," he said, "what do you know about shoe repair?" And I said, I know enough to be dangerous. He said, "Well, my helper quit. I need somebody. I'll teach you." Excuse me. So I went to work for him, and one thing led to another. I got him. He was backed up. I could see why he was backed up. He knew his business, but he was not a good people person. So, and his favorite thing was, I'll have him done in 6 to 8 weeks. So I left there because my business was still, growing, and I was still, doing a regular 8-hour job. Well, things just kept growing. I got more customer base, was selling more on the internet, and my wife and I sat down, and I said, "Look," I said, "if I can make as much, if not more, per week in the leather shop, basically, if I can match or make more through the leather shop than I was making working for somebody else for 3 consecutive months, that I was going to quit my job." Well, it did. I quit and did shoe repair and leather work for ever since. Now, there's been some good times, and there's been some times that I was wondering where the next dollar was going to come from. So things started picking up again. Well, I outgrew the small shop, so I went down. I talked to the man that I bought that Landis machine from, and he said he was fixing to retire, and he said, "I'll make you a deal you can't refuse." He said, "I'll sell you everything." He said, "I'll sell you my clickers, my clicker press, my sewing machines. I'll just sell you everything." I said, "All right." I talked to my wife, and she said, "All right, yeah." So Also, he wanted to rent me his building. Well, I couldn't refuse the rent. It was dirt cheap because a brick and mortar with a storefront just to rent the buildings started out at like $1,200 and on up. And then you got electric and you've got your other incidentals, water and stuff like that. Well, this was like I was in hillbilly heaven when I moved there. So I moved all my stuff from my little shop to the bigger shop. I was there 2 years, and unfortunately, he passed away. And while I was there, he helped me perfect a lot of different things. You know, when you're self taught, you get a lot of bad habits. Well, he helped me correct some of them bad habits, show me easier ways, faster ways, and basically, he was a good mentor. So, don't if you think you know the craft, you don't know the craft. There's always somebody out there that's got a faster, simpler, easier way of doing it. So, anyways, he passed away, and I had to move all the equipment. Of course, now I've acquired, a clicker machine that weighs 1,900 pounds and a lot more equipment than I had, so it wouldn't fit in my small building. Well, my biggest thing was I was scared that if I moved, because when I moved in there in 2 years, my clientele grew like I would not believe. So not to say I got scared, I got concerned. Well, I was going to and I was, somewhat upset that I lost a friend. And I considered shutting the door, throwing the key in the bucket, and walking away, selling everything off, and just going back into retirement. Well, my daughter and my wife, mainly my wife, she said, no. She said, you'll drive yourself nuts if you haven't got something to do. She said, you enjoy doing the leather work. She said, you meet a lot of people. She said, let's get another building and put it next to your little one and give it a whirl. I said, I kind of grumbled and functioned, bellowed a little bit, but I did it. And she's probably going to watch this video and she'll probably go, I told you so. Because it was like the only thing that changed was my address. I've still got the same customers. I'm still as busy as I was before. I'm picking up new customers. And this year, I can't believe the stuff that I've made custom, guitar straps, belts, you name it, your general leather goods. And I'm tickled pink. And I'm glad my wife talked me into not, just throwing keys in a water bucket and going back into retirement. But that's basically just the kind of where we started and where we're at now. We've come a long way. And anybody out there that's thinking about doing this, coming from somebody that was willing to give up and didn't, because I had somebody in my family that backed me and supported me, it's fun, it's interesting. You meet a lot of cool people. By any means, you're not going to get rich, but if you do it right, watch what you're doing, watch where you're getting your supplies. You can make a little bit of money at the end of the week. And that's all I want to do, is make some money at the end of the week so I can buy some toys. You know, not going to go into what kind of toys, but I can have things and not have to use money that should pay a bill or something like that. So I just wanted to let everybody know how Cowboy Leather and Shoe Repair came about. It actually started Cowboy Leather. Started out, first. That was the base company, and the Shoe Repair fell in second. So where I look at it is if the shoe repair is slow, selling leather goods picks up, and things just kind of balance itself out. I'm not saying this is for everybody, but if you want to make a go, you want to have fun, and you don't want to work for somebody else and make them rich, I would think about breaking out on your own. Like I say, you can do it. It's going to be hard. You're going to want to probably throw the keys in the water bucket, and lock the door and throw the keys in the water bucket, but just hang in there. If you believe in yourself and you can sell your product, even if you sell 1 or 2 pieces of your work a week, that's $20, $30, $40 more than you had Monday morning. Just don't overprice yourself. I've seen some of these people that are out there. Of course, they're in different parts of the country, of the states. I've seen people take a simple, just a piece of leather, and make a simple key fob that really, to be honest with you, it's a piece of scrap leather. You use a key ring and maybe a rivet. Rivet costs you pennies. The ring costs you pennies. The leather costs you pennies. You're probably going to throw that piece of leather away, but they think that it's worth $45, $50. Now, someplace you might be able to get that, but I make key fobs, and around here, unless I make them as a kit and sell 20, 30 of them at a time, I can only get a finished one out tooled for maybe $5. But I'm on the East Coast, and on the West Coast they might be able to get more. But anyways, I don't want to go into that. That's neither here nor there. So now you all know how Cowboy Leather came about, and a little bit of background about me. I'm self-taught. I guess I'm a self-made man. But anyways, it's about time for me to shut the lights off and go to the house and get something to eat. I just wanted to make this video, and I wanted to wish everybody Merry Christmas and Happy New Year, and hope that everybody's well and everybody has a good holiday, safe holiday. And if you are making leather products, that you've got your stuff made and got it in the mail, headed towards where it's supposed to be, or it's supposed to be going. So, again, I'm Scott, Cowboy Leather and Shoe Repair. Thank you for watching this video. If you've got to this point, do me a favor. hit the subscribe, hit the like, leave a comment. All that is helpful to me. I just, I looked the other day and I was up to like 528 subscribers. I was hoping to hit at least 1,000 before I'm too old, but I don't care. I'm just having fun, and if I make a video once in a while, let people maybe learn from what I do, from my mistakes. That's all I care about. It's all good. So, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and if we don't see you before the end of the year, be safe. Bye now.